Hi everyone, once again this is FS Gold, one of your forex mentors, and today guys I'll be showing you a strategy of Nasdaq, the Elliott Wave channel strategy. This strategy guys, first of all, is simple, straight to the point, but in order for you to understand how to apply it, you're gonna first need to understand what is an Elliott Wave channel and how exactly does this lead to being a strategy. Okay, so without any further waste of time guys, let's get started. So firstly, let's start what is an Elliott Wave strategy. An Elliott Wave is a form of technical analysis that traders use to analyze financial market cycles and forecast market trends by identifying extreme highs and lows in prices and other collective factors, meaning that this strategy goes hand in hand with technical analysis. You need to be able to identify highs and identify lows and other factors that can affect you having your highs and lows. So this strategy identifies waves known as impulse wave that set up a pattern and corrective waves that oppose the larger trend. So the Elliott Wave strategy moves in the direction of the main trend, followed by the three waves in a correction. Meaning that in order to understand Elliott Wave strategy, you must know what is the main trend. So the main trend of Elliott Wave strategy would be bullish, meaning an uptrend. The main trend is an uptrend. Let's go to the next slide. So firstly, we're going to start with the impulse channel wave. So do you first remember how I told you guys about the impulse move? An impulse move in a buy trend represents a buy, a correction would represent a sell. So an impulse wave consists of 5 sub-waves that make a net movement in the same direction as the trend of the next largest degree. This pattern is the most common motive wave and the easiest to spot in the market. Like all motive waves, it consists of 5 sub-waves. 3 of them are also motive waves, and there are corrective waves as well. So this is labeled as a 5-3-5-3-5 structure. Now I know pretty much you don't understand what I mean by that. This would be our one impulse wave. Now let's label it. This would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3, this would be 4, and this would be our 5. So we call it a 5-3-5-3-5 structure. It consists of 5 movements, hence it's called a 5-3-5-3-5 structure. Our 5 represents impulse move, and our 3s represents a correction. We have an impulse move, a correction, impulse move, correction, impulse move. So meaning it's an overall bullish movement. All of this is our impulse wave. It's an overall buy. Okay? So let's continue with the lesson. Secondly, we have what? Corrective waves. What is a corrective wave? Corrective wave consists of 3 or a combination of 3 sub-waves that make a net movement in a direction opposite to the trend of the next largest degree. Like all motive waves, its goal is to move the market in a direction of the trend. So basically this would be our corrective wave. So do you remember the first one? We have an impulse wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now our motive wave would be consist of 3 movements, of which would be 1, 2, 3. So let me show you the labels. We call this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is our impulse wave. Our correction wave would be A, B, and C. This is our A, this is our B, this is our C. It's only 3 movements. So this is a corrective wave. So as you can see right here, if we put a trend line like this, this makes it what? A crossover. It can act as a head and shoulder, as you can see right there. So I'm going to explain this a little bit more further as we continue. I'm just showing you what is an Elliott wave. It's when we have an impulse wave and a corrective wave. Now let's continue with the lesson. I'll show you exactly how to apply this strategy. These waves help us to better understand the overall direction of Nasdaq as a whole. It's been a continuous bullish market. Now let me show you exactly how I'm saying it's been a continuous moving market. So this is Nasdaq, also known as Nasdaq Inc., NAS 100, US 30, different names as they stated for you before. So now let's go back and see whether it has been a bullish movement. It has always been a bullish, meaning it has corrective wave, but overall it's been increasing. It's been having a bullish momentum, also having a slightly bit of corrections, but overall it's been going up. as you can see right here. That is why the impulse wave represents a buy. The overall direction of a Nasdaq is a bullish. It's been going for buys overall, having slightly small retracement. Okay, so now let's continue with the lesson. So secondly, we have what we call a consolidation channel. In order to be able to understand how to apply this strategy of Nasdaq consolidation channel, you should understand how support and resistance works. You remember how support and resistance work, guys? Like I told you before, resistance and support don't change. You'll buy at the support and sell at the resistance until a breakout is made. That's when you can make the opposite. So when a breakout happens, like for example, the market crosses the resistance, it then becomes our new support, vice versa. Let me show you what I mean by this. Let me say I'm changing the color. So let's say we have a line here, and then this is our resistance. This will be our resistance, meaning we sell at the resistance. But the moment this line crosses over, this very same line that used to be a resistance would now become a support, meaning we would buy when the market comes to retest at that point. This is what it means when there is a breakout, this resistance now becomes a support, vice versa. Okay, so now let's continue our lesson. So this would be how to understand a consolidation channel. This is a consolidation channel. A consolidation channel doesn't have an overall movement. It's not an overall buy or an overall sell. It just, you buy low, you sell high. You buy at a support, you sell at the resistance. At a resistance, we sell. At a support, we buy. This is basically a consolidation channel. Now, lastly, we have a rising and a falling channel. All these channels, they'll make sense at the end. I'll explain to you how they lead up to having an Elliott wave strategy. So, I said buy at a support and sell at the resistance. When a breakout occurs on a rising channel, the market will form a retracement to test back the new retracement formed. What do we mean by this? I mean here, what we know that we buy low and we sell high in a trend. So this is a rising trend, also known as an uptrend. And this here would be a falling trend, also known as what? A downtrend. So meaning this here would be our trend line, also known as what? An uptrending support. So the moment this support structure gets crossed, it then becomes a resistance. So the market has to retest that resistance, and this, after this retest, that's when it's gonna fall. Because what? We sell at the resistance, we buy at the support. So this was our support, but the moment it crosses over and comes to test, it then becomes our resistance and opening opportunity for us to what? To sell. So this is basically a thorough understanding of what an Elliott wave strategy is. So now let me show you what an Elliott wave strategy is. An Elliott wave has an impulse wave and a corrective wave. And how does that exactly lead to a strategy? What is the main strategy that I'm trying to show by this? After we have our impulse wave, we will have our corrective wave, meaning this would be our rising channel, and right here would be our falling channel. Together they forming a what? An Elliott wave. This would be our 53535, and this would be our ABC. So the reason we're showing this strategy is because we're trying to show you about this line right here. This line here called an uptrending support, meaning the moment the market crosses over that support, it then comes to retest it, making us have an entry of selling. Let me search NAS 100. NAS 100 is also named as Nasdaq. It's more clearer like this. Firstly, we would have our what? Our impulse wave. And secondly, we have what? Our corrective wave. So now, how to know when to enter a sell? The moment this market crossed over here, giving us a retest, gives us a retest at this point here. At this point here, that's when this crosses over, comes back and retest, it can either be a double top or one entry, but that's when we should look for sellers. So as long as the market is above this line here, as long as it's above, we are at buying opportunities. But the moment it breaks over, comes to retest, we are now running into selling opportunity. And that will be all from me, guys. FS Goats signing out.